Pepper says, my mommy loves her ADHD, and she's going to tell you what she loves about it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. On this episode, I am going to be talking about our ADHD superpowers. I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, and it made a lot of sense when I realized, oh, that's why I couldn't do this, or that's why I struggled with that. And I feel like a lot of times when we post about ADHD, it's kind of on where we struggle and have a hard time coping. Which I don't want to discredit that, because that is something that we experience, but I want to take the moment to focus on our ADHD superpowers, because we definitely have a lot of advantages being on the ADHD or ADD spectrum. And I want to share that to let you know that, guess what, guys? We're pretty awesome. Now, our first ADHD superpower that I love is our spontinuity. I love how spontaneous we can be, and I love that we don't have to stick to the plan. If a change occurs, we very easily can adapt to the change. I sometimes say that my best work is in the 11th hour. If there was a change to occur, if I'm under a little more pressure because something had to pivot or something had to alter, I actually perform better. For me, I think this is not only an excellent work quality to have, but in life, because the world is all about change. And the fact that we can very easily kind of adapt and change the plan and adjust and work well under pressure is such a wonderful quality and asset to have. The second thing that I love about my ADHD superpower is my energy. Now, yes, this applies more to the ADHD more than the ADD from my understanding, but I know that when I wake up, I have a great amount of energy. I really don't need to drink coffee. Actually, I don't drink coffee, because if I drink coffee, it actually makes me anxious and a little irritable, but I don't need that morning bounce, because when I wake up, I'm pretty happy and I'm ready to start my day. Now, I'm not saying that this is to all ADHD and ADD. I have read that there is ADHD fatigue and different things where they kind of tire out, and I don't experience that too much. Well, let me tweak that. I experience that more towards the end of the day, because I have been going and going and going when my body's just like, girl, we done. And right before I'm about to record a video, I love that I get this little surge of adrenaline right before I'm about to record, because that's when I really need that energy to kick on when I'm making a video, because I love doing it. So of course that dopamine is going. Now, my third ADHD superpower that I absolutely love is my creativity. I love that since I was a very little girl, that I was always imaginative and would create the most amazing things, and I always daydreamed. Yes, because I daydreamed was why I had a really hard time focusing in elementary, middle school, and high school until to this day. But in those daydreams, that was where the creativity was born and manifested. I absolutely love that quality about us. It's such a wonderful personality trait to have, to be able to express yourself in your own authentic self. I remember when people would say, you need to think outside the box. That's where I thrive, because I literally live outside of the box. That was where I thrived. And I feel like we really need to give ourselves a lot of credit for how amazing this trait is, especially in the realm of art and inventions and music, to be able to really just create from nothing and bring it into this world to make people happy and enjoy life even more. This is a very top tier personality trait that us ADHDers have that I want you to love and thrive in. Express yourself, be imaginative. This is why I always say I never lost my childhood wonderment of the world, and I never do, because this is an amazing space to be in. Now, the number 4 ADHD superpower that I love is that I noticed that we're more empathetic and more caring. Since I was a little girl again, I remember being 2 and 3 and having these memories of me just running up to strangers and holding their hands and wanting to make them smile and be happy. Yeah, my mom had a lot of fun in the 80s because her little 2-year-old daughter would run off with other people. But at that young age, I showed how much I cared about other people and how I just wanted to love on them. And I've noticed that other people who share the same ADHD qualities that I have, and one being my son who's ADD, I noticed on how much of a deeper level they felt for other people and how much more they just wanted to love, support, and encourage others. Now, I'm not saying that non-ADHDers are not empathetic or loving and giving, and I'm also not saying that there aren't any ADHDers who kind of struggle a little bit with empathy and caring. I'm just saying, in my world, how I feel, what I see with my one son, what I see with my boss, when I see with some of my friends who are ADHD, I just notice that it seems like we just feel on a grander spectrum and just show a little more empathy to everybody else. Now, the number 5 ADHD superpower that I love is my absolute favorite, and that is the ability to go into hyper focus. This is what I call genius mode. This is where I can focus on an interest or an activity like creating YouTube videos, and I can stay focused for an extended period of time. I can actually block out the world around me and not get distracted. I'm so keyed in and honed in to what I want to say, what I want to express, what I want to create, that it's just amazing when you're in hyperfocus. This is the trait that has helped me create and produce a video, 2 videos, each and every week. I feel like this quality is the foundation of the success of my YouTube channel, because it is my life's purpose to be able to humanize hoarding disorder and now ADHD, and to be there for people. So this is what puts me into that hyper focus, actually complete the tasks and the videos. That's when I'm in hyper focus. I can complete a task, a really long, drawn, processed, creative, detailed task. That is a superpower, my friend. There's a lot of famous people who have like ADHD, and a lot of inventors like Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison and John Lennon. So many people who attribute their success and have had these breakthroughs in the world because of their ADHD, because they were creative, they could think outside of the box, passionate, they cared about people, and they were able to put those fixations into hyperfocus to create the most amazing things. We have these abilities, and I just want us to focus a little more on these amazing qualities and personality traits that we have, instead of getting a little more stuck in, the lack of focus, because, it could be a plethora of things that we can struggle with, but I don't want us to be stuck in that space. I want us to start really focusing on those amazing qualities that we have so that we can flourish. And I want to try to pull everybody out of this, but I feel like ADHDers really struggle with this because there's just so much out there about focusing on where we struggle that I don't. I want to pull us out, swing to the other side of the pendulum. Let's celebrate our superpowers that we have. Now, I really hope that everyone enjoyed this video. I hope that this left you being motivated and encouraged. And even if you don't have ADHD, these are some really amazing qualities that we can all reach in within ourselves to reach our goals, to feel productive, to be accomplished. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to declutter, achieve, exercise, do anything in your life today. Any other ADHD hair twirlers out there? Anyone? I do this every day, probably since 6th grade.